I saw in the comments of the previous video that many of you were asking me to make a follow-up, talk about some of my thoughts on just his career, some of the things that have happened, of course, just if I've ever met him or anything like that, and of course, when more info comes out about what caused his passing away and what was the cause of death. So this is going to be that video. I still haven't decided if the comments will be enabled or disabled on this one because there's always some disgusting people that just try to rile people up and they're complete scumbags, just like there were in the last video, and I just don't get it. But let's talk about Jason David Frank, who left a huge impact on many of us. So come to think of it, this video is probably going to be demonetized as well because the moment I mention what causes it, it's going to be all sorts of problems with YouTube and it's going to derail everything for us, but whatever. I think most of you have seen what went on in the news that was reported, and unfortunately at the age of 49 years young at that, he ended up taking his own life. And, you know, this is something that it hurts to talk about because I've known people that have done the same thing. I've been in some pretty hard and tough places myself, and sometimes that's a thought that runs through your head. And it's one of these situations where something like this that happens to somebody like him, who is, a celebrity, who had money, who had the love of fans. And much like many before, something like this happens, and you just have to look at the situation and realize that no amount of money or anything can truly make you happy. And you never know what somebody is battling. And Jason clearly had issues, and some of them have been documented over the last decade plus with some of his videos and things that he put out. But at the core of it, you could see that even when he was battling some of these things, that he loved his fans and had an appreciation for them. And one of the memories I have personally of him was my first ever Comic-Con, which was New York Comic-Con 2011. My wife and I went, and we were just in one of the random locations. We were like, oh, what's this line for? And there was like a smallish line assembling, and they're like, oh, it's the Green Ranger. We were like, oh, that's cool. And they're like, yeah, he hasn't showed up yet, but we don't know, what's going to happen. And suddenly there's this commotion, and he decided to ditch his PR agent and just walk through the middle of the show floor, not even go through the back, carrying all his luggage because his airplane was late. And he stopped, took pictures with everybody. I remember him high-fiving me, smiling, and the agent was like, hey, come on, you got to get to your table. We got to do stuff. He was like, hold up, and just took his time. And ever since then, he's been at multiple cons I've been to. Friends of mine have met him, got autographs, gave him things, and the guy always seemed to care about the fans. And that's really important to me, to remember that. And to remember how much he was there for us during our childhood, or our teen years in some case, because I've never stopped watching Power Rangers. I've made that very clear. I still watch it, I'll catch up when a new season is out, and then I'll continue to watch it. And he's one of these names in Power Rangers and my history that if I look back on, hard times in 1995, 96, 97 when I moved to the US, being bullied as a foreign kid and all that, Power Rangers were there for me, and he was the star of it. And it's just one of these memories I have of buying action figures, asking for more Power Rangers, having the white Tiger Zord and the green Dragon Zord, and having the fruit and everything, right? Because so many of our childhoods were filled with iconic franchises like this, that when you think of somebody like him passing away, you're instantly reminded of the impact that somebody like him, or recently Kevin Conroy, had on you. And with the passing of him and the likes of Kevin Conroy, you realize that all of our childhood heroes are slowly passing away for one reason or another, and it really makes you just kind of look back and realize how much truly, maybe you don't realize it today, but how much of an impact these people had on you. Even if you never got to meet them, there's no denying that if you watch Power Rangers, you know who he is. if you were a girl watching Power Rangers, you probably had a crush on him, just like my wife. You know, it's honestly, it. How do I put this? This celebrity passing has hit me more than I think most. And it's because some of my oldest memories in the US are coming here, watching Power Rangers, and falling in love with the cast, and then continuing to watch it. And every time he would come back, I would be taken back to those moments of when it was a simpler time. You know, when I was a child, running around in my park, wearing a green shirt and just one of those flimsy little Power Ranger masks, pretending to be a Power Ranger. And it just, it's still hard to process, but rest in peace.